Alrighty, boys and girls, it's Dougal checking in here, and it's been a good old minute. I haven't made a video, and neither have my brothers and sisters since September 2021. So I kind of wanted to talk about why I've taken the last year-ish off and what I want to do with the channel going forward. I don't really think that the Carnage House project should be left behind as it has been. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about where I've been, why I didn't make a video. I want to talk about what I see for the channel going forward, how I want it to look like, and specifically what I want my role in it to be, and I guess how much effort and heart and soul I want to put into this channel. And then at the end, I want to talk about some of the videos that I want to make and kind of ask you guys for suggestions and things like that. So to kind of give you an account of where I have been for anybody that cares, the two people that probably care. I was since I guess the start of COVID and the government response to COVID, let's say, I felt quite down and deflated about the world. I felt like the world was going backwards, economically and socially. And I felt like that if I actually gave my thoughts on how the government was handling COVID and the vaccines, etc., that I would almost certainly be kicked off YouTube. I mean, I saw some of my friends like Joel Jamal have to navigate pretty carefully through the community standards and guidelines, and I thought I would definitely be kicked off YouTube as or at least face similar difficulties that Joel did. And I didn't want to just get kicked off straight away. I also thought that, as you guys would probably remember, I mean, it seems like such a long time ago now, but when the lockdowns and everything was kind of going on, that was the peak of me kind of losing friends or putting strain on my relationships with friends. And I felt like I didn't need to lose any more friends. And I think there's probably a lot of political commentators or people who are involved in politics out there, particularly on the, let's call it the right side of politics, who kind of feel like that. It's like Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce, this was Caitlyn, I think, at the time, said that, it was way harder to come out as a Republican than it was to come out as trans. And, I don't know about, what the truth level of that statement is, but if you do not worship the local gods of feminism, racism, global warming, etc., then you will probably be kicked out of polite society. In a lot of ways, there will be people who won't talk to you. I mean, my group of guy friends, God bless them, I love them to death, had to basically say goodbye to their closest, and me as well, our closest kind of group of friends who were girls a couple of years ago, because the girls would refuse to hang out with them so long as they were friends with me. And this is not like a sob story at the end of the day or like a victim fucking ceremony. But it's like there are real world social costs to doing a channel like this. So long as you actually speak honestly, if you have the opinions that I have. And I just felt like I didn't need any more of that shit in my life at that time. I also wasn't sure if I actually wanted to do it and be famous. And I don't really think I want to be famous necessarily, or really famous at all for doing this. It's like if you want to do this, podcasting and making videos, as a career, you need to get famous. That's how you make money. And my buddy Joel's pretty much made it in that sense. But do I really want to be famous? And do I want to be famous because I have pissed a whole lot of people off, which Joel has successfully done? And it's almost like being, not to say that Joel goes out and seeks controversy or political podcasters and video makers seek controversy, but to make money doing this, you have to get famous. And if you get famous doing this, you will piss a lot of people off and become like a public enemy. And it's like, is that really a life that I want for myself? My answer back then was no, and my answer today is still no, but I'll kind of explain a bit more why I still want to make videos in a little bit. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to like have a career in media at all, and that kind of started becoming apparent when I was accepted into into a program called Young Voices through a friend of the channel, Emily Dye, who we did an interview with, which you can check out. But basically it was kind of like an incubation hub for young libertarian writers and kind of content creators, etc., to kind of fast track their progression and get them jobs and gigs and, whatever the case may be. And so I was doing that, and I found it really helpful, and it was a really good program. And I'm not trying to, say anything except for the fact that as I was doing it, this podcast and YouTube channel, it started to become a lot more like work and a lot less like a hobby, a lot less like a creative outlet or something fun. It started to become like I was focusing a lot on subscribers and views and like post-production and having meetings with my brothers and sisters that, we kind of didn't really want to be at, but we felt like if we wanted to make it, we had to. And that all meant that it took a lot of the fun, at least for me, for that period of time, was taken out of this channel. And that's not what I want it to be. It's never what I wanted it to be. I always wanted it to be fun. That's kind of the reason why I did it and why I want to get back into it. Because I feel like there's a bit of a hole in my life where I feel like I'm kind of going crazy in my own head a little bit sometimes, and I need a place to express my ideas and my opinions and have a sanity check. So it became like work. And the last thing I'd say about why not making videos is that it's not actually like I replaced my time with anything productive. The past kind of 6 months, especially since I finished uni at the end of last year, going through that kind of finding yourself stage, which I'm, I guess, still navigating a little bit. I've had probably the laziest 6 months of my life by far. And the laziness kind of has revolved around playing a lot more video games than I should have, doing more recreational drugs than I should have, and not really having much discipline in my life. And this, I feel like, coming back and making more videos, I think will solve a lot of these. Will kind of solve that problem of having a creative outlet and being able to express myself and knowing that I'm not going crazy all the time. I mean, like, it was just a few days ago where I decided I need to make videos again. And the reason was, I think it was the creator of the TV show Friends who said publicly that she was embarrassed at how white the show was. And you can imagine the usual people who are kind of cheering her on for being conscious and woke and whatever the case may be. But I looked at it, it's like, this is obviously a case of racism. Obviously a case of racism, saying the show is too white. I mean, you'd get probably thrown in jail for saying Black Panther was too black or Crazy Rich Asians was too Asian. But it's the type of racism that people and our institutions celebrate. And I wasn't happy with that at all, because you see it all over the place. You see it in, when you apply for a job and they ask you what race you are. it's like this publicly accepted and publicly promoted form of discrimination, which I thought we kind of got over a while ago. And I just felt like often powerless in situations like this, and this is one of my only forms of, like, I wouldn't call it power because it's not like a big channel really, but it's a way for me to perhaps send some ripples out into the world of sanity and logic and reason, as far as I think it goes. So that's kind of the sob story of what I've been up to and what I've been doing. And I want to talk a bit about what I see for the channel in kind of the near future. And this is not like a long-term thing because I don't even plan that far ahead. But so what I want to do is I want to make videos I like about topics that I like with people that I like. I want it to go back to the days when we originally kind of started the podcast, where we were talking shit, but we were doing, I think, and saying a lot of helpful things, and we were doing good research, and we were helping people get facts in front of them that were hard to find in the media, and showing the other side of the story. So not many people know this. I don't know if I've ever told the story. Probably have. About how the podcast started. And it was when I was living in China in a foreign student's dorm. And I was listening to Joe Rogan and a few other people. This would have been like 2017. But I was having all these really interesting conversations with people who are in the dormitory. You're just teaching me things about their country and the way they saw the world. Because hold on, I'm going to restart this camera. All right, we're back on. I was having these conversations with people from all these different countries, like 100 different countries or something, who are living in this foreign student's dormitory, who are teaching me about, the way they saw the world and about their country, and often about international politics and culture. And I wanted to record that, partially because I didn't want to forget it. I would forget most of them, and a lot of them were drunk. And I also thought maybe some people might find something like that interesting. And then when I came back and I bought the podcast equipment, Alex, my older brother, was like, let's try it out. And so we just were supposed to do a mic check, basically, and ended up talking shit for an hour about Trump and guns and things like that. And it was a lot of fun. And it was actually well received. We decided to put it out. But that's kind of what I want to go back to in the channel is, it is selfish in a way, but aren't we all selfish? And I want to do what's kind of best for me, and what I want to do, the videos that I like, and part of that will mean that it's more sustainable, doing topics that I like with people that I like, not really worrying as much about the subscribers and the views and even perhaps the production value. But I just want to have fun with it is basically what I want to do. And then, as I said before, I want to get just like a sanity check to make sure I'm not being stupid and crazy, because every day I ask myself more and more, am I going crazy? And the final thing, which is actually pretty cool, is that part of the reason why I want to sort this channel out now, is that in about a month to 4 or 5 weeks, something, me and Alex and my little sister Fiona are going to move on like a little working holiday with potential for further work to Laos. We're going to move to Laos, right? And so we're going to be doing, I think, a lot of traveling around Southeast Asia, which will give us opportunities to make travel vlog content and talk to local people, and I think really meet some interesting characters over there. So we're going to make some videos over there about that. And so the videos I want to make, these are just a few of the thoughts off that I wrote down, which is the type of videos I want to make. I want to do an interview with some of my friends, one in particular who's living in Ukraine, and her dad's in the Ukrainian army. And I can imagine, my audience is probably, very switched on and doesn't necessarily believe all of the media around Ukraine, which I don't either. But if you talk to a person who's over there, they'll tell you some things. I've had probably the saddest conversation I had with anyone in my life with her a couple of months ago. And, whether it doesn't matter what side you're on, the people in Ukraine are kind of the poor bastards in the middle of NATO and Russia. And getting their perspective on it, and I'll also be able to talk to her about hopefully what I think about it, try and sort out some of the truth from the fiction. And if I can't get her on, which I might not be able to, then I'll just kind of give my thoughts on the Russia-Ukraine situation. It's really quite interesting. I want to do an interview with our friend of the channel, Charles Joyner, who's a pro kickboxer, who's just had a big fight in America, and he did really well, but got had a tough knockout loss actually. But I really want to talk to him because a big part of his kind of personality is about focus and dedication and of being on the road to success and such things. And this is his first taste of adversity. So I want to talk to him about how he wants to deal with that. I want to do some vlogs and stuff in Laos. I think maybe it might be helpful to do a video about my thoughts on addiction, whether that be kind of recreational drugs or video games, or perhaps other ones. Just having recently been kind of grappling, I would say, with both. Not an addiction to drugs, but just doing more drugs than I should. And perhaps maybe, I don't know if you'd call it an addiction to video games or just playing more than I should, but either way, I think I could just give some perspective on that, which could be helpful for some young people. What else? The possibility of war in Taiwan and China's political moves in the South China Sea, I think would be good to make a video on. But of course, I'm more than happy to take suggestions, whether that be topics to discuss or people to talk to. I'd love to hear your thoughts if anyone's still watching the video. Drop a comment down below if there's someone you think I should talk to. And from now on, I think, because I'm trying to bring it back to like fun and being a hobby, what I'm going to do just after I finish recording this video is I'm going to cancel Patreon. I don't want anyone paying for it. It's just a hobby of mine now. If you enjoy it, then that's fantastic. But it's not like I need financial help in my life. I still have a job. And I'm also going to cancel the ads because sometimes I make long videos and I don't like sitting through ads. I think it's bullshit. So I'm going to just cancel the ads on the whole channel. So that's basically it from me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about kind of anything I've said or what you want to see from this channel. I guess that's basically it. If you want to see more, subscribe, click the bell button, I think. But this one's just for the real ones who've been with us for a while and was wondering where we were. So thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us. This is Agent Dougal here. See you next time.